Okay, once again, let's go back to just reiterate a couple things because I finally just remembered to turn on the webcam, which I hope my other students will appreciate so much. We just went through the definition. What's a pronoun? It's a word that takes the place of a noun. And what is a possessive pronoun? It's a word that takes the place of a noun and shows who owns it at the same time. So, what happened to the noun? If we use a possessive pronoun in a sentence, what happened to the noun? It's gone, right? It's kind of like that movie, Gone Girl. It's gone. Okay, it's no longer there. We are referring to it, but it's no longer in the sentence. We have knocked it off. Okay, it's not there. Okay, so, ya saben, you already know that we use possessive adjectives before a noun to demonstrate who owns it. Okay? You already know this. You've been doing this since early on in Spanish 1. What are the possessive adjectives? Clase? Not name. Me or niece. Keep going. Tu or tus. Su or sus. Nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, nuestras, vuestro, vuestra, vuestros, vuestras, su or sus. Those are the possessive adjectives. Now you know that adjectives describe the nouns they modify, or they describe the nouns they modify. That means they're not replacing them, they're working along with them. We still have the noun in the sentence when we use a possessive adjective. So, you see things like this. ¿Dónde está tu libro? Where's your book? Está en mi mochila. It's in my backpack. Sus padres están en las Bahamas. Their parents are in the Bahamas. Or your parents are in the Bahamas, or his parents are in the Bahamas. Or nuestros profesores son los mejores. Little subliminal messaging here. Cierto. Okay? These are the possessive adjectives. They go before the nouns they modify to demonstrate who owns the noun. Okay? Your book, my backpack, your parents, or his parents, their parents, whatever. Our teachers. So this is what you already know about possessives, but these are adjectives. So, well, here's another one. ¿Cómo son vuestros profesores? Nuestros profesores son los mejores. ¿Cómo son vuestros profesores? Our teachers are the best. What are your teachers like? The teachers that belong to y'all. Okay, so, now we have to figure out how to use a possessive pronoun. You previewed this information last night, so I'm hoping that this doesn't mess you up any. Okay? We use a possessive pronoun when we want to refer to an object and point out who owns it without naming the object. And that's critical here. We don't want to name the object. It's no longer in the sentence. Remember, it's a gone girl or a gone guy. It's just not there. We're using a possessive pronoun because it's going to take the place of the noun and refer to who owns it. Okay? So here's some examples. Yo tengo tu libro y tú tienes el mío. I have your book, that's a possessive adjective, y tú tienes el mío, and you have mine. Mine is a possessive pronoun. Mine what? mein Buch. Something we're speaking German. Okay? Mein Buch. Okay. You know, yo no tengo el tuyo. No, I don't have yours. Yours what? Yours book. We all know what we're talking about, so we no longer need to say it. This is why we have possessive pronouns. Because other words, these two lines together would sound like this. I have your book and you have my book. No, I don't have your book. It's repetitive and redundant. We don't need, though, to repeat the word book so many times. Okay? So, now tell me, why are these possessive pronouns, el mío and el tuyo, masculine and singular? Tell your partner. Okay, Pueblo, why are el mío and el tuyo masculine and singular? Because libro is masculine and singular. They agree with libro, which is the noun that they are replacing. They have nothing to do with who's doing the owning, except for the form that you choose, okay, or the reference that you choose. I would say el mío and el tuyo, and I am definitely not masculine, okay? Why are my words masculine? Because of the word they stand for, okay? Now, there is an alternate form that we have to be aware of. When the possessive pronoun follows a form of the verb ser, the definite article, el, la, los, or las, is often omitted. Now, not always, but often. The majority of the time, if it comes after a form of the verb ser, we are not going to use the el, la, los, or las in front of the possessive pronoun. So, here's some examples. Este es tu sándwich. No comes el mío. This is your sandwich. Don't eat mine. Ese no es tuyo, es mío. It's not yours, it's mine. In the first sentence, we're using the definite article because it follows the verb comer. But in the second and third sentences, we omit or leave out the el in front of both of those because they come directly after a form of the verb ser. Ese no es tuyo, es mío. Questions about anything you've heard so far? All right. Entonces, ¿puedo cambiar? ¿O no? ¿O no? Hay unas personas que todavía están escribiendo. ¿Listos para cambiar? ¿Sí? No, ok. Hay unas que todavía están escribiendo. Momento. Señorita. If it's an adjective. We're going to find out just a minute. Good question though. I love it when everybody's eager to learn. This group is always eager to learn. It's like fun to have you guys come to class. Really. I did miss you yesterday for about 30 seconds. I'm sorry. But it was a little gift, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a little gift. Okay, can I change the slide? Okay. Now I want you to dibujar una tabla. Saque el libro y ábrelo a la página 174. Copia la tabla de pronombres posesivos en tus apuntes Cornell. Okay? So now you're going to open up your book to page 174. And I want you to copy that table into your notes in a format that makes sense for you. When you're finished getting that table into your notes, then we're going to do some more practice. Now, while you're drawing your little table, I want to inform you of something. First of all, how many of you in the room are juniors? Your hands up, please. Just 2. Okay, that's awesome. All right, next week, next Tuesday, we are going to allow juniors the ultimate privilege of taking a practice ACT. Now, they might not think about it that way from this perspective, but let me tell you, the opportunity to take a practice ACT, at least get your head around what you're going to be facing when you take the test for real in March. So we are going to administer a practice ACT on Tuesday of next week in the morning. We're going to do it the same way that we do it when we do it for real in March, which means they use these classrooms in the 400 way, which means that all of the rest of us are going to be displaced next Tuesday. We are not going to have class in this classroom next Tuesday morning. We're going to be down there in a science lab. The only science lab that's on this side of the crossroads, right? At the crossroads, there's a room that used to be a computer lab. Now they got the robotics stuff in there. And then there's a science lab next door to it. That's where I'm going to be that morning. So that's where you'll find me. I'll remind you on Monday, and I'll even find out what room number it is. I think it's 402, actually. Let me go see if I have that number here. A second. Yes, that is classroom number 402. It is a science lab. We're going to be in that room next Tuesday morning.
No, this year.
You know, this is so interesting. Some of you are reproducing that chart exactly the way it looks in the textbook, and some of you just jotted down the information. It reveals, and I'm not being critical, you just jot it down in whatever format does you the most good. It's just interesting to see what kind of learners you are. I'm the kind of person who would draw every line. I might get out different colors, and because that's how I learn best. But it's interesting to see how you approach this task. Now, when you're done with that, we're going to move on to activities 17 and 18, which are on the next page. So if you're finished, go ahead and move on to 17 and 18. Or, if you prefer, you can get out your packet and do activity 11, which is a homework assignment tonight. It's not all of the homework assignments, because there's another one, but you could go ahead and work on that one, or work on 17 and 18 on the next page. Once again, once you've finished getting your chart into your notes, either begin working on 17 and 18, or on the next page, or pull out that packet and look at 11. Because you're going to be doing that for homework. We're going to practice together with 17 and 18 together in just a minute. Uh-oh, children. I've just looked at 5 packets that are out, and you're halfway through activity 11. You've forgotten an important rule. Look at what's before the blank. Uniformes. Yeah, they're junk. I know. No. They shouldn't have put it here. The model is bad. Ladies and gentlemen, the model is bad in the packet. The model is wrong in your packet. Why is the model wrong in the packet? Macaulay says it's because you're not supposed to use the definite article. Why aren't you supposed to use the definite article? It follows Sarah. Okay? Remember that little rule? Okay. Fix it. Thank you for pointing that out to me. Appreciate it. That way you won't make that mistake. Yes, except this is plural. Okay. Yes, sir. You can engage speeches more likely to say something. That's a really good question. All right, let's move on. Yes. Yeah, because this is both the possessive adjective and the possessive verb. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Except that we just mentioned that the model is wrong because it follows Sarah. This is a form of Sarah in each one of them. Okay? So you should handle it. Okay, classic. Okay, classic. Actividad 17. Put that packet aside, those of you who got started in it. That was a good move because we found an error in the packet. Activity 17. ¡Viva nuestro colegio! Long live our high school. Antonio describe su colegio en Costa Rica y cómo tu colegio compara con el suyo. Antonio describes his high school in Costa Rica. Say how your high school compares with his. And he has nuestro colegio. Nuestro colegio es viejo. So you would say, el nuestro no es viejo. Ours isn't old. Nuestros estudiantes. Our students. Our students wear uniforms. You say, ours don't. Okay? Our library. And you say, ours. Okay? You're doing that for all 4 of those. And then you're going to move on to 18. 18 says, completa la conversación con el pronombre posesivo más apropiado. Complete the conversation with the most appropriate possessive pronoun. Oh, my Lord. We don't have time. We've been having way too much fun today. No, it's not homework, but I'm a firm believer in it. In fact, we just learned this new thing. You should be trying to get as much practice as you can. If you've gotten started, you might want to continue it. But we need to talk about the other portion of your homework. And we're going to get interrupted during this, so I've got it on a slide, so I thought that might happen. All right, you are doing packet activity 11. In addition to doing packet activity 11, I also want you to write a minimum of 3 two-line conversations that demonstrate mastery of possessive pronouns using vocab from the lesson. Here's an example of what the kind of thing I'm looking for. ¿Dónde están mis lápiz de labios? Where's my lipstick? Aquí está el tuyo. Here's yours. Okay? Now, why does this fit the description? Because I've used a possessive pronoun in the second sentence to replace a vocabulary item from the first sentence. Okay? Now, I've asked the question, what should an overachiever do?
Good morning, Bubba High School. Every student has right to feel physically, emotionally safe. Still holiday next week. The jam of the day will be Monday. Dress up in your PJs, but make sure it's school appropriate. Posters with the rest of the days are posted around the school. Scarves are the latest fashion trend, and you could learn to make your very own custom scarf at the newly formed Knitting Club. It's going to be Tuesdays and Fridays in Mrs. Marcus's room after school. Attention all no fast court nominees. Acceptance forms must be returned to Mrs. Schultz in room 310 today before lunch. That means immediately. Attention seniors, if you're on the list outside the media center, you still need to get your senior and or baby picture to Ms. Croak. You must do so by Tuesday or you will be left out of the senior yearbook. That's up. Good luck to our sports teams. Have a great weekend. And remember, success is a choice.
All right. Now, as I said, what should an overachiever do? More than 3. And you're really looking for ways to use that new vocab, because that's how you get more practice, right? You get more out of the exercise if instead of just practicing the grammar, you're also practicing the vocab. You're doing this for yourself. On Monday, we are going to start with activities 17 and 18. I'd like to do that quickly and get them out of the way so that we can continue and wrap up the lesson on Monday. We'll practice more with it on Tuesday and plan to have our quiz on Wednesday. Now that's big news for my 2 juniors, one of whom is playing with her phone in class when she shouldn't be. Okay? We're going to have that quiz over this lesson on Wednesday of next week. Okay? You heard me, right? When's the quiz? Wednesday of next week. All right. We'll talk about it more on Monday. Adiós, hasta el lunes.
Hannah Warner to the office, please. Hannah Warner to the office.
My mom was there this past week, and he had a really nice time with that. So my mom called him, and then he was like, I want to talk to Daddy. Because her mom was pregnant with you when he died. He was like 2 months before I was born and stuff. And he had a really nice time with that because his mom was talking about weird stuff. And so Dad cried to me on the phone. He was like,
Okay. Life gets messy and ugly sometimes, and I've shared some of those things with you. My father-in-law passed away last Friday on Tom's birthday. And Tom is in China. Okay, so talk about, strange circumstances and how life works. Sometimes it just really sucks. But, as you well know, nothing happens without God's knowledge and permission. So for some reason, that was your grandfather's best was to pass through. That's hard to believe sometimes, but it's absolutely true. Was that when Bobby? No. What was the name? Tyler, okay.
And then 22 months later, our uncle was like, we're going to be alone. And so Dad still blames himself for both of them. He's like, I'm a police officer. I went through psychology classes. How did I not know?
Because they don't want him to know.
I was like, Dad, you can't do this to yourself. And then he's like, this has just been hard. And so I talked to him about it yesterday. And he's like, you better not ever do that. And something like that. And he's like, crying to me on the phone, like, I don't understand why this happened or whatever. And then Cameron was on the phone with us, and he's like, why did God do this? I'm like, yeah, you have to realize that it happened because of something that he wanted. And the reason was complete that they were here. So, yeah. So I had to have that conversation with Jennifer yesterday. And I was like,
You've taken on so much. And it's painful. Part of that is because you've already recognized the role that Christ plays in your life. I'm not sure that you
I don't see that.
Okay? And that's why he feels so desperate about that situation. Because he doesn't see it from an internal perspective.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so, all through your life, you may be that person that keeps saying, God's in charge and we're not. We don't always understand why God does the things he does. And sometimes man just takes things out of God's hands. In the case of your cousin and your uncle. It's things that and here's another thing. Your dad thinks he's in control of something. When the truth is none of us are in control of anything. Okay? That frustrates him because he lives and he's in control. But those are all great pieces of evidence that prove that he's in control.
That's what gets him mad, like the most. Because he just can't take that whole, I don't have any power over this.
Right. Right.
I think that's his big thing.
Now, I'm not going to be here because I'm going to go down for lunch, okay?
Yeah, I have to go with you for a second.
Okay.